The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello, I'm Rex Litter with the news. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, classes suspended for funeral. PNG franchise team name. And Port Moresby AFL heads to preliminary finals. The body of Governor Luther Wenge was taken to Markham and Boana today after visiting several locations across the 10 districts in the last 3 days. With deep sadness and grief for the great leader, hundreds of people gathered in Mujing to pay their final respects. Morobe province is one of the largest provinces in Papua New Guinea, with vast land area and diverse political boundaries. The late governor was a key figure who played an important role in uniting and developing the province during his years in office. A funeral service will be held tomorrow at Sir Ignatius Kilage Stadium, followed by his burial at his home village of Baindoang Nawai district on Thursday. Classes will be suspended for schools in late tomorrow to observe the official funeral of the late Morobe Governor Luther Wenge. However, grade 10 students are still expected to go to school to continue with their scheduled national examinations.
A directive has been issued by Morobe's Provincial Program Advisor for Education, Ki Tangui, to all head teachers, principals, and school boards in lay districts to suspend classes on Wednesday, October 8, 2025, to observe the official funeral of the late Morobe Governor Luther Wenge. Tangui outlined that this decision is made to allow teachers, students and school communities to pay their final respect to the late governor, whose leadership and service to the people of Morobe and Papua New Guinea will be long remembered. No more classes shall resume on Thursday, October 9, 2025. For business houses, late Chamber of Commerce and Industry President John Bryan clarified that while October 8 is not a gazetted public holiday, it may be wise to close due to the large crowds expected and witnessed on Friday, October 3rd. The advice has been received from the Lay Metropolitan Superintendent Chris Kunenban. Ban said businesses who open need to ensure security is increased and be vigilant and prepared. Police will be on alert, patrolling, but getting to any hotspot may be a challenge. The late governor's funeral will be conducted at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Outdoor Stadium starting at 9 a.m. Michael Tamtipais, TVWAN News.
17 houses at Horse Camp in Moresby South Electorate were burnt down 3 weeks ago after an angry man was murdered by a man from Gulf. In response, Commander of the National Capital District and Central Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Benjamin Turi led a team of police units who visited the area yesterday morning.
The Acting Assistant Commissioner of NCD and Central, Benjamin Turi, and his officers were at the scene, confirmed that about 17 houses were burnt to ashes 3 weeks ago after an Angan man was murdered by a man from Gulf. Commander Turi said they discovered that the Angans chased the Gulf people out of their houses and retrieved power from one of the houses and connected it to their morning house at Sabama. Turi said burning down houses and then trying to claim the land is not right and is unlawful. The police will investigate the matter and have those who burned down the houses arrested and charged. He said the owners of the houses must work closely with Badili police and provide statements so they can fast-track the case. The police will patrol the area to ensure that those who left their houses return and those who are not residents must leave the area. Commander Turi said the murder suspect had been arrested and is now in police custody.
The Department of Education is aware of an incident involving 27 grade 10 students from Kimber Grammar School in West New Britain Province who were unable to sit for the first day of the national examinations due to non-payment of school fees. Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra said the department is being informed of the situation and is working closely with the West New Britain Provincial Education Office and the school to ensure the affected students are given the opportunity to complete their examinations. He has explained that Kimber Grammar School is a private institution and operates under its own administrative and financial policies, separate from government-run schools. Despite this, Dr. Kombra emphasized that no child should be denied the right to education or participation in national assessments due to circumstances beyond their control. Education is a right for every child in Papua New Guinea, whether in the public or private system. Prime Minister James Marape has described the signing of the Papua New Guinea-Australia Mutual Defence Treaty, known as the Puk-Puk Treaty, as a historic milestone that redefines the security partnership between the two nations and strengthens the foundation of mutual respect, shared history, and common destiny. Upon his arrival yesterday evening in Port Moresby, Marape said the treaty marks the beginning of a new chapter in the bilateral relationship, one that moves beyond friendship to a strategic partnership for peace, security, and stability in the Pacific region.
Prime Minister James Marape has hailed the signing of the Papua New Guinea-Australia Mutual Defence Treaty, commonly referred to as the Puk-Puk Treaty, as a historic milestone that redefines the security partnership between the two nations. Marape emphasized that the treaty strengthens the foundation of mutual respect, shared history, and common destiny between Papua New Guinea and Australia. Upon his arrival in Port Moresby, Marape stated that the Puk-Puk Treaty signifies the beginning of a new chapter in their bilateral relationship, evolving from mere friendship into a strategic partnership aimed at fostering peace, security, and stability throughout the Pacific region.
Papua New Guinea is exposed someplace, then Australia's capacity is there for us to lean on. We've signed this agreement, but it doesn't give automatic Australia intervention in our country. There is no provision at mutual discussions without tempering each other's sovereignty. PNG can ask Australia for help, and Australia will be compelled to help, subject to their own constitutional process. Likewise for Papua New Guinea, if Australia is in some engagements, this treaty binds us together, but at a convention, through UN convention and PNG's own sovereignty design and constitutional provision, we make the call to join otherwise at a critical time.
This treaty is expected to enhance cooperation in defense and security matters, reinforcing both countries' commitment to addressing regional challenges and promoting greater regional stability. The Prime Minister stressed that the importance of this agreement is to shaping the future of Pacific security dynamics and the enduring ties between Papua New Guinea and Australia.
We have a long way to go. In this signing, we have now elevated our military capacity to theirs by way of us mobilizing their resources if need be. But for me, I don't see that as the major reason also. In between now and 60th anniversary of our nationhood, I've made it no secret, PNG want to build our defense force to a 7,000-man force. That includes 1,000 for our sea people, 1,000 for air people, having air capabilities, having sea capabilities, having technological capabilities, as well as the land capabilities we want to ramp up and build for our own defense force.
Marape further expressed deep appreciation to the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the people of Australia for accepting Papua New Guinea's proposal to formalize this defense partnership, which reinforces both nations' commitment to safeguarding their sovereign interest and regional peace. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Meanwhile, Minister for Defense Dr. Billy Joseph congratulated Prime Minister James Marape for signing the security treaty with Australia, which he described as the correct, forward-thinking decision taken at exactly the right time. The minister emphasized that this treaty reflects maturity in bilateral relations and a shared vision for regional stability. You are watching TV1 News. Coconut processing plant in Madang and EU Green Diplomacy Week. We'll have those stories and more when we return. Stay with us.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSP's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSP's One Talk Wallet. PSP's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Prime PNG made. Introducing the 8th generation unbreakable recreational Hilux double cab look, featuring new look trapezoid grille, front and rear LED and fog lights, backup assist monitor, keyless entry start-stop button, a 2.8-liter 6-speed automatic, improved fuel efficiency injection diesel, luxury interior, touchscreen sound system, tough yet comfortable, perfect for town and country fleet vehicles. The 8th generation tough and recreational Hilux, available now at Ella Motors, unbreakable Hilux.
P&G's favorite soft drink now in bottles. Gold Sport brings you fresh, bold flavors in brand new 500ml bottles. Taste the rainbow. More freshness, more flavor, more fun. Lime, orange, raspberry, and pineapple. Proudly made in P&G. Proudly Gold Sport.
For Simon, life is simple. Dreams seem distant, yet hope remains. One ticket, one dream. Simon's world changed forever. Yes! From small dreams to big possibilities. One Talk Jackpot is here for everyone. Win big every day.
Life is about making memories, sharing new adventures. Go beyond the familiar. Don't let bacteria hold you back from experiencing the world. Protex uses natural antibacterial protection with flaxseed oil and eliminates 99.9% of bacteria. Free yourself. Go beyond with Protex.
Blindside and is celebrating a try.
Welcome back. A Sri Lankan large-scale coconut-based food and beverages manufacturer or exporter, Giant Exports, has recently expressed interest in setting up a coconut processing plant in Madang province through a joint arrangement with local investors. Following their interest, the Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru, accompanied by Madang Governor Ramsey Pariwal, visited Sri Lanka recently to see the company's operation. Giant Exports has 2 processing plants in Sri Lanka under the brand name Econutrena. They offer an expanding and diversified product portfolio ranging from coconut cream, milk, oil, sugar, butter, whipping cream, ice cream, among others. Minister Maru said the PNG government, together with Madang provincial government, are keen to work in partnership with Giant Exports to develop the proposed processing plant in Madang that would have the capacity to process up to 100,000 coconuts per day to produce high-end coconut products. Meanwhile, Minister Maru is working very closely with the Madang provincial government to ensure 10 hectares of land in Madang for his very important investment that will transform the coconut industry in Papua New Guinea. The EU Green Diplomacy Week goes into its second day with more young people engaged in the awareness and dialogue on the importance of environment, conservation and climate change. The event continues at the Mosby Arts Theatre under the management of Expertise Friends Group with funding support from the European Union, with young people volunteering to make it all happen.
The Green Diplomacy Week reminds us that diplomacy is not only about government-to-government dialogue, but it's about our shared accents, says the Acting Managing Director for CCDA, Deborah Sungi, when addressing the opening of the week on Monday, 6 October. She said PNG continues to make its stride in terms of its alignment in its climate policies with sustainable development ethics. Our efforts to operationalize the Carbon Markets Regulations 2024, strengthen our green finance mechanisms, and implement the National Adaptation Plan and the NDCs are supported by the same vision that undermines the EU's European Green Deal to balance the economic progress with environmental activity.
We have also advanced in terms of concrete action on the ground, from biodiversity protection and forest monitoring to climate finance readiness and community resilience. The EU's long-standing support has enabled CCDA and the government and our partner agencies to turn policies really into practical actions, empowering our provincial government, our civil society, and the communities to really take ownership of climate solutions that align with Papua New Guinea's nationally determined contributions and our long-term emission strategies.
One of the activities that the European Union FCCB program is passionate about is involving working with young people in advocating and promoting eco-friendly endeavors in their communities. We had a chance to interview a group of amazing young people who are volunteers during the Green Diplomacy Week.
So the Green Diplomacy Week is all about teaching us young people about how we can be agents of change when it comes to climate change, how we can mitigate climate change at our own level. It's a program that brings together young students, youths, children, as well as policymakers and people from respectful organizations. It's also a networking event, I'd say, where we come and we meet other students from other universities and other schools to talk about them, to engage in conversations that is all about climate change and how we can help mitigate that.
I am leading around 10, I think, but less than 10. We are basically helping out with transportation to set things up. So the European Union is basically there's as a host of this program. They run everything, but they basically oversee the program, where we are on the ground and we're doing all the groundwork. So getting participants in, organizing the program. We also take part as moderators. And
what inspired me to volunteer is you create networks when you volunteer for program. It's not always about you being recognized, but you will create network and collaborate with a lot of people.
My message here to all the young ones back and in and around the country, please, the program is annually, and I want all of us to join. It's a free program, so you can join and gain some idea about climate change here.
The Diplomacy Week continues to Friday 13th October at Mosby Arts Theatre, with the doors still open for more students to participate. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
PNG Forest Authority has called on landowners throughout the country to partner with the authority and plant more trees under the government's Pining Ground Planning DY program. PNG FA Managing Director John Mosoro made the call when addressing foresters, landowners and the community at the launch of the Bulolo Wow New Forestry Plantation Extension Program on Thursday, October 1st. The launch concluded PNG FA's 50th Independence Anniversary celebrations. 12,500 hectares of trees have been planted and sustained at the Bulolo Wow forestry plantations, which are then harvested by the PNG Forest Products, who are processing and producing plywoods, sawn timber and veneer products since the gold rush in the 1940s and World War II. PNG FA is looking at a target of 800,000 hectares of land to plant trees. It commanded the landowners of Bulolo and Watwood for agreeing to participate in the government forestry reforestation program. The program will promote tree planting and reforestation and carbon trade, as Papua New Guinea forests are globally known to be the last tracts of pristine rainforests in the world. And now the finance news. The Kina closed lower at 0.2385 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our Kina was buying 0.2310 US dollars, 0.3462 Australian dollars, 0.1892 euro and 34.41 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, cocoa, copra and crude oil closed higher. Coffee and palm oil closed lower, and oil and copper closed a day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, PSP's OneTalk wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at PSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our OneTalks, to our family, to the ones we love. PSP's OneTalk wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend. PNG's own coffee.
Really messing with your game. Time to sweep him out of the room. maybe not.
Ding bang ding, ding ding bang, bam bam bang, ding bang ding, bam bam.
Start your day by doing the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate. Wake up. Brush your teeth. And smile. Smile throughout your day with Colgate.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Long year 2024, 7 baby I born one time HIV. HIV I can go long baby long triple rot. Time bel mama I get HIV, long time long carrying baby, na time baby I susu. Tasol Yumi can help him bel mama, long look out him baby inside long bell. Go quick time long bel mama clinic, na kiss him antenatal check. Time Yumi pan him sick HIV area, or time bel mama I positive penis, early treatment I can save him baby. Give him baby healthy start long life. Stop him spread long sick HIV I go long baby. This lutok sawa I come long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
That's the way to start a World Cup.
This is unbelievable. They have etched their names in history.
Thanks for staying with us. Turning abroad, the New Zealand government says it has done the right thing in offering a $5.3 million compensation payout to the Samoan government after its navy sank a ship on a pristine reef of the Pacific island. On Monday, New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister Winston Peters announced the payment following a request from the Samoan government and lobbying from the affected villages. The announcement comes exactly 1 year after the ship, the HMNZS Manawanui, smashed into a reef and sank off the coast of Samoa's Safata district, spewing diesel into the surrounding waters. In what was a major embarrassment for the New Zealand Navy, an investigation found a series of human errors and a lack of training and experience led to the sinking. Now, 12 months on, the New Zealand government says it has responded in good faith. The state government is facing fresh questions over its bailout of an embattled coal mine critical to Western Australia's energy system. Amid revelations, taxpayer money is being siphoned off overseas. Griffin Coal has been in receivership since 2022 after collapsing under the weight of mounting losses and more than $1 billion of debt. It can now be revealed that taxpayer funds intended to keep the mine afloat are partially used to pay its foreign owners.
Of all the problems looming over WA's energy landscape, few cast a longer shadow than Griffin Coal. The historic company is one of only 2 coal mines in Western Australia, where it supplies fuel for some of the state's most important industrial players. Union official and former coal miner Greg Busson knows Griffin's importance well.
So we're a consistent source of power, and if we had to drop that out of the system, I don't know where it would be currently.
But times are tough at Griffin, which has been on life support since its lenders tipped the miner into receivership 3 years ago. Providing the lifeline to the company is the WA government, which agreed to keep Griffin going until June 2026. More than $300 million of taxpayers' money will be spent subsidising Griffin's production. The state has previously said the cash would not be used to repay Griffin's lenders, but answers to questions in state parliament tell a different story, with the government acknowledging it had spent almost $15 million paying secured creditors.
The secured creditors of Griffin are going to receive about $30 million out of the $308 million that taxpayers are pouring into the black hole that is Griffin Coal.
Griffin is still one of WA's most critical energy assets, supplying the coal that's used to produce about 15% of the power in the state's main grid. Its intractable problems put the state in a bind, struggling to live with the miner and its lenders, and seemingly unable to live without them.
It is the price of keeping lights on and making sure that we've got consistent, good quality and, it's fit for purpose power, currently baseload power.
The state opposition says the government needs to come clean.
When Griffin Coal continues to lose $7 million a month and it is propped up by the taxpayer, I don't think the investors should be receiving a dividend, but they are.
The government declined to answer questions about the debt repayments, but insisted it is the receiver and not the state that is responsible for distributing payments between creditors.
2 detector dogs have joined Western Australia's workforce to help conservationists in the fight against the devastating plant disease dieback. The management of dieback has challenged authorities, but it's hoped the fairy recruits will make detection far more efficient.
Kel, fight after. It's man's best friend lending a paw. Kelly and Milo are the first detector dogs to be permanently based in WA to improve the state's management of dieback.
Parts of the dieback management puzzle that have been really challenging up to now, and the dogs can come and fill in that puzzle piece to help us get a better strategy overall.
The pair of 14-month-old English Springer Spaniels are trained to sniff out the smallest scent of the disease before signs of infection are visible to conservationists, a trick experts say is a game changer.
We hope that this program will accelerate the identification of dieback samples, making it cheaper and more accessible and easier to rapidly clear areas.
Dubbed by environmentalists as the biological bulldozer, dieback has wreaked havoc on the country's native vegetation for more than 50 years by attacking and rotting plants at the roots. It's wiped out up to 90% of plant species in some areas and affects some of WA's most well-known species like Proteaceae, which includes banksias and hakeas. Rising temperatures making the disease harder to manage.
So we've had a lot of drought, making it really hard to read those landscapes, and the dogs are better able to read those landscapes, and they can also do it immediately in the field.
Making dieback detection possible in minutes instead of weeks.
Dieback is still our #1 threat in WA because it just impacts so many species over such a large area.
The DBCA secured $1.3 million in grant funding from the Commonwealth's Saving Native Species program for the project, which will see the dogs travel across WA over the next 6 months, sniffing out any sign of dieback to help authorities manage the spread of the disease. And with an average career of 10 years, these clever canines will be making their mark.
The state government says it's one step closer to opening its multi-billion-dollar Metro Tunnel project, now that construction has finished at the new Town Hall station. Built 5 stories under the city's CBD, the government hopes to open the new train line in the next few months, nearly a year ahead of schedule.
Once inside, you go down, down, and down.
At its deepest point, 33 metres.
A grand design in the heart of Melbourne. 44 escalators, 12 lifts, and 2 platforms at Town Hall Station, the centrepiece of the new Metro Tunnel.
It's twin 9-kilometre tunnels that are going to transform the way people move around this great and growing city and state.
An end-of-year opening is still on track, but the government still hasn't locked in a date, and part of the system is still under construction. But once online, the new Metro Tunnel will service 5 new stations and connect the Sunbury line to the Cranbourne-Pakenham line, taking these services out of the city loop.
That delivers and enables a turn up and go service down that corridor, but what does it also do? It frees up capacity in the City Loop so that we can continue to add more services across the rest of our rail network.
This $13.5 billion project is being delivered ahead of schedule, but it's blown its original budget by more than $2 billion. Now, the government says it's doing extensive tests to make sure there are no further surprises. The new trains rely on advanced signalling technology that automatically adjusts their speed and distance from other services.
We've run about 265,000 kilometres in the tunnel to date, and that's all about ironing out the bugs in the system, making sure the trains stop at the doors.
To help passengers move between existing lines and the new services, an underground tunnel will connect the new platforms to Flinders Street Station.
And we wanted to make sure that in the design of these new stations, they looked to the future of how these stations would be used by our city and state.
It's one stop the Premier hopes will keep the city moving.
A new report reveals that the cost of floods, bushfires and storm in Australia are rising year on year. Data from the Insurance Council of Australia shows losses from extreme weather events have been climbing consistently since 1980. Cyclone Alfred, which hit Queensland and New South Wales earlier this year, cost $1.4 billion in insured losses alone.
So we know there are 242,000 homes on the east coast of Australia that have either a 2% or a 5% risk of flooding each year. Now, we need to see greater investment in resilience in mitigation infrastructure in those communities. That's things like flood levees, dams, basins, or in the most extreme examples, buying back those properties and moving those homes to safer places. So we are calling for the federal government to invest $30 billion over the next 10 years into resilience infrastructure. So that includes floods, levees, flood levees, basins, dams, etc., buybacks, retrofitting of homes, so things like home raising. Now, that feels like a lot of money, but it is over 10 years, so that's about $3 billion a year.
That ends the news segment. Later in sports, PNG NRL franchise team name and Victorian joins Gerehu Magpies.
New Fabuloso multi-purpose cleaner with an irresistible fragrance that lasts all day long, creating a field of flowers in every corner of your home with an irresistible fragrance that lasts and lasts all day long. Fabuloso, irresistible fragrance.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Haren Kok Young or roll a scale rice family meal with toast. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's a favorite by miles. Seni sigolo scale rice low scale price. Seni sigolo scale rice low scale price. But you like him?
100% proudly PNG owned, Sidla Bay Hotel proudly joins the nation in celebrating our Golden Jubilee 50th independence. Thank you for being a valued part of our community. Let's continue the journey for another 50 years together. Proudly PNG.
Meet UmiPay, your digital wallet from TISA Bank. Your gateway to seamless transactions. Withdraw cash anytime at your nearest TISA agent. Send money to family and friends anytime, anywhere. Top up and pay with just a scan. From taxis to coffee and small businesses, UmiPay makes every payment simple. UmiPay, powered by TISA Bank.
Plenty of hopes around the corner into the straight of the Lexus Melbourne Cup. There you go. They're racing away. Angled back and hits a try. What a big hit. Labour, the crossfield kick.
Great Aussie road trips. Your next adventure awaits. Magnificent landscapes. Exploring the roads less travelled.
I just find it spooky.
Absolutely glorious. Unique and exciting destinations. This is the real Australia.
It's the best feeling you can get with your clothes on.
Great Aussie Road Trips, Australia's best road trip adventures.
Welcome back. In sports, the PNG NRL franchise name is expected to be named over the weekend. Prime Minister James Marape made this known upon arrival from Canberra, Australia yesterday evening.
Prime Minister James Marape has announced that the upcoming reveal of the team name for Papua New Guinea's NRL franchise team, indicating that it will be disclosed soon. He made this announcement after returning from Canberra, Australia yesterday after signing the PNG-Australia Security Treaty as well as discussions on various bilateral issues, including the enhancement of sports and cultural ties between the two nations.
If everything goes to plan as in as far as our team for 2028 NRL participation, if the board clears through a board meeting that we held here in Port Moresby later this week, then we should announce our team name. The surveys that has been polled, I think, from what Diesel tells us, the highest ever public engagement with respect to a survey has been completed. I will get the full information through the course of this week.
The anticipation surrounding the franchise team name reflects the growing enthusiasm for Papua New Guinea's involvement in rugby league, which not only fosters a sense of national pride but also strengthens community engagement within the country.
As soon as the name is given, then the construct of everything else will flow from there on. So we should get the name out of the way at the earliest. If everything goes to plan, by Saturday we should have agreed on a name, and then by Sunday we should announce on the name. But again, I can't preempt the board process. The board is completely independent from myself, and so it's subject to the process that is running. From what I was told, a short list of names was already made, and in consultation with NRL, you have to decide on in NRL in terms of the name for them to check through their own systems whether these names are copyrighted elsewhere, as well as the link to not just the name but the team logo and the uniform color and the design, because it must be unique and not related to some of the other teams that is running.
Further announcements will be made soon to provide more details on the franchise's purpose and the significance of its name. Freddie Moe, TVWAN Sports.
The Australian Rugby League Commission and the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese have announced the Australian men's and women's Prime Minister's 13 squads to take on PNG Prime Minister's 13 teams at the Santos National Football Stadium, Port Moresby, on Sunday, October 12th.
Australia's men's Prime Minister's 13 will be captained by South Sydney Rabbitohs enforcer Keon Kualamatangi. The team will feature some of the game's breakout stars of 2025, including Kualamatangi's South Sydney Rabbitohs teammate Jai Gray and Talis Duncan, Canberra Raiders trio Ethan Strange, Tom Starling and Corey Holzberg, and Melbourne Storm's Nick Minnie and Taron Wissart. The side will be coached by Kangaroos' newly appointed coach Kevin Walters. The women's Prime Minister's 13 will be captained by Quincy Dodge and Sophie Holman, and features Titan speedster Jamie Chapman, Eels fullback Abby Church and West Tigers attacking ace captain Turnbull. The women's team will be guided by General's coach Jess Skinner. Walter said the men's squad includes many names that have lit up the NRL competition in 2025. The squad has a really good, strong mix of experienced players and some of the best young talent in the NRL this season. He said there is a lot of strike across the park with the likes of Ethan Strange, Jai Gray, Brandon Best and Jason Saab, and some real power and mobility up front, led by Keon Kalamatangi, who is getting the opportunity to captain the side. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
New Caledonia suffered a late collapse after holding European powerhouse France for most of the game, before losing 6-0 in their final match of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. Following 9-1 and 5-0 Group E defeats to the United States and South Africa, New Caledonia displayed tremendous resilience against a fancied France side, holding them to 1 goal at half-time. But it was New Caledonia's best performance of the tournament, and they came close to equalizing in the 17th minute, firing a powerful strike just wide of the post with the France goalkeeper beaten. France had earlier taken the lead in the 11th minute, but unlike their previous 2 matches, where New Caledonia conceded goals in quick succession, they held out until the 55th minute, when their opponent squared across the goal to fire home. They held France to 1-0 at halftime, but in the second half, France came back strongly to win comfortably 6-1. The Oceania qualifiers exit the tournament but will head home, having learned plenty from their experience in Chile. The Port Moresby Moneplus AFL Premier Competition has successfully completed its 2025 regular season, culminating in the top 5 playoffs between minor premiers Lamana Dockers, West Eagles, Gerehu Magpies, Gereka Bombers and Uni Tigers. Week 1 of the elimination and qualifier process started last week that saw Eagles going down to defending premiers Gerehu Magpies 60-28, while Gereka Bombers had too much class for University Tigers 48-9 in the first elimination final playoff on Saturday. Minor premiers Dockers were on bye.
Former AFL President Douglas Lai has again commended all the clubs for their participation this season, and more so for displaying good sportsmanship throughout the 18 weeks of competition without incidences, which promotes the true spirit of sportsmanship. President Lai expressed satisfaction at the way the season had run, noting they had minor hiccups along the way, but the competition ended well, with the top 5 teams proceeding to the playoffs in the next 3 weeks.
We've had a really good season. As usual, we've had our ups and downs, but the seasons ended well last week, and here we are into the first semi-finals and elimination finals today. We got preliminaries next week. The 2 winners of next week's challenges will straight head into the finals, grand final.
President also praised competition underdogs University Tigers for an incredible season, and making the top 5 for the first time in their short history is an achievement in itself. Lai also expressed huge excitement for the upcoming prelim finals this Saturday among the 4 remaining cup contenders, Dockers, Magpies, Bombers and Eagles, to decide who proceeds to the Big Dance the following week.
West against the Bombers and Magpies against the Dockers. These 4 teams have shown, what it takes to be champions. So definitely we'll see a great game next week, a great preliminary next week, and the 2 best teams, going to the grand final the following weekend.
President also noted that the Bombers' finals campaign got a big boost this week with the return of their 2 marquee players, Rex Paraguay and Glenn Sanyong, after a stint with the Nil Tigers in Victoria, Australia.
They definitely played very well today, both guys, Rex Perego and Glenn Sanyon. They're up against West next week. West is a very good side also. They boast some really good players in there. So it's going to be an exciting one. We'll see how it goes.
The president again highlighted this week's prelim finals with minor premiers Dockers taking on Gerahu Magpies and West up against Gerika Bombers. The two winners will meet in a grand final decider next Saturday week, October 18. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Gone are the days when it was common to see expatriate players on the field during the 1970s and 1980s, a time when Australian rules football was predominantly expatriates among the local talents. Decades later, Australian volunteer worker Jos Debel broke the hoodoo, lacing up his boots to join the Port Moresby AFL club Gerahu Magpies for the 2025 season.
Jos and wife Rainbow hail from Victoria, South Australia, and have been living in PNG for the past 9 months, engaged in their voluntary work. Jos's journey into joining the POM AFL began through a mutual friend, leading Jos to join the Magpies. Since stepping onto the field, he has embraced the local culture, relishing the welcoming spirit of his team and the community. Jos's presence in the competition is indeed a rarity that has captured the attention of AFL fans, breaking stereotypes and fostering connections to the sport he loves.
Okay, so I think I'm the only non-Papua New Guinean who's playing, so everyone always shouts to me, white man, when I get the ball. But it's fun, the culture is good, everyone is very friendly, but everyone plays AFL like they play rugby. So lots of tackles, very physical, which is very different to back home.
In his short time in PNG, Jos has also picked up a bit of broken talk Pidgin, but it's all fun and loving it so far.
And you picked up, Pidgin as well?
No can talk Pidgin, no can.
Commenting on the Magpies' big win over West Eagles over the weekend and how Magpies are tracking, Jos said they prepared well for the big matchup and are satisfied with the win, and now looking forward to the prelim final against minor premiers Dockers this week.
It'll be a good contest. I think we really prepared ourselves for this game. The boys are very physical, very fit, and we're excited to play next week. I think a lot of the boys from Lamana are from West New Britain, and so are our boys, so it's a bit of an internal rivalry.
When providing a brief background of his Aussie rules history, interestingly, Jos admitted he only played one season back home.
I've played only one season of AFL. That was in a place called Cardross, where lots of people from the Pacific, they come and on the palm scheme, they pick fruit. But they're mainly Tongans. So it's a little bit different. They're a bit bigger than you guys Papua New Guineans, but it's pretty similar.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Now the weather forecast.
Southern, Port Moresby and Daru, cloudy periods with rain showers and thunderstorms. Popondetta, mostly cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorms. Momase, Ley and Medang, cloudy periods with rain showers and thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, Lorangau, partly cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorms. KVN, mostly fine and partly cloudy with possible showers and thunderstorms. And Highlands region, Mendi, Tari and Wabek, cloudy periods with rain and thunderstorms. Ocean forecast, Coral and Bismarck seas moderate to rough with southeast to easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots, reaching 25 to 33 knots. Solomon Sea, seas light to moderate with northeast to easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots. And Pacific Ocean, seas moderate with east to southeasterly winds of 10 to 20 knots. And coastal waters, waters of southern PNG to Indonesia border to Daru to Kiwai Islands, Karamayul Island, Hood Point to Samarai Islands. Seas 1 to 2 meters, rising to 3 meters along warning areas. Waters of Finchafan through Vitia Strait to CSC, Long Island to Medang, seas 1 to 1.5 meters, increasing to 2.5 meters at times.
And that ends the news for tonight. From the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by